Hi, you guys. I am back again. I am wearing glasses. I might take them off. I'm not sure. Me, I. All right. So today we are going to talk about why I always talk about how much I love people and how much I love talking and the whole cultivate friendships and relationships. I want to talk about it because I always say people bring color to my life, and I want to dive into that a little bit more and tell you what I truly mean and where does it really come from. And more than anything, I think it has a lot to do with all the platonic friendships that I have experienced in my life. And just sitting down, crisscross applesauce in my seat. Because they are everything to me. Now, disclaimer, Mama's gonna be on her period soon, so she's a little emotional, and I just might end up tearing up a little bit. I can already feel it because I'm already envisioning my past. But it's important that I talk about this now. So, all right. For starters, I'm an only child. I have two lovely parents who care for me very deeply. I am very close to both of them, and they helped nurture this pattern of self-love, reflection, confidence. My favorite thing that my dad has ever done is he's never treated me in accordance to my gender. Doesn't, well, I do get princess treatment, and he won't let me do chores or stuff like that. It's not it's not really what I grew up with, but when it came to when I had ventured into my adolescence, it wasn't as though he expected me to start fixing my hair and he didn't want that for me. He loves that I am open and honest, and I have a sailor's mouth even when I'm home. My mom doesn't even stop me either. They're just so supportive of who I am, and in that I blossomed. And I truly feel like I look at myself sometimes through my parents' eyes, which is weird, but like healthy in a sense, because I have that love for who I am. And anyway, so the first people I've ever known, my parents, and then family, my lovely family, my wonderful cousins who I'm very close to. Specific shout out to my Zara and Reza, they've grown up with me, I've grown up with them. However, I'm 7 or 8 years older than two, but they honestly qualify as my younger siblings. And when we do introduce each other, oftentimes we'll say like, oh, that's my little sister, that's my little brother. And it feels like home with them, and I spend Thanksgiving with them, and I spend the holidays with them. I see them as much as I can. So those are very important relationships that I've had. And then of course the cousins that are closer to my age. Oh my goodness, like we've grown up together. We know our quirks, our idiosyncrasies. Then it comes to the family we choose, right? So, oh my goodness, this is the more emotional part because it's not expected, And with family, you expect it, and sometimes they fall short. I'm not talking about my family, but that is a common case, With friends, you don't really expect that reciprocity, or it's just built in us, So when we do end up choosing our family, it is this, it's you never forget it, just like your childhood best friend. And my childhood best friend from high school, I love her to pieces, and I will never ever forget her and all the memories we made, and however much we goofed around, and to just make a home for each other. That's what was so beautiful about it, you know? There was like, and I'm so lucky to say that I had that classic experience of that one best friend you come running to in high school. And that was the case. And we became best friends freshman year, a Halloween. And I knew she was going to be my best friend because I told her a story that I oftentimes, this is when I was a kid, but oftentimes I would exaggerate. But with her, I didn't exaggerate the story. Or I think I did, and then I quickly like apologized and told her, hey, this is the real story. It was something stupid. It was something really stupid. I was I was a kid, and I think I threw some stuff over a balcony at a hotel, and it almost hit somebody, which is not cool. But yeah, and the lie was that I put the do not disturb sign under the door or through the door when security came up. That part was a lie. And I quickly told her, and it was then I was like, oh, I'm honest with her. I'm being real with her here. And it just, I don't know, something like it was just, you know, like it was cosmic, you know? It's funny because like the first time I met her, I tapped on her shoulder and I said, hey, I know everyone says that you look like your sister, but you actually look like my old best friend. And then she just kind of like smiled and looked away and acknowledged it, and that was it. But slowly over time we became friends, and I told her jokes and she told me, we both found each other super funny. And then it just became like an everyday thing where we were just inseparable. Like we were known for being inseparable, and we pulled all these stupid pranks together, and we were insane. But yeah, that was my first best friend, like first real best friend, and I'm so appreciative of that. And then afterwards, most of my life I've moved around a bunch. In middle school, I went to 4 different middle schools, and then high school to 1, and then post high school I just moved around a lot as well. And you know, it was hard for me to maintain friendships, and in my family I'm known for not like Irish goodbyes necessarily, but just like, okay, well, I'm going, and you know, I'll say I miss you, but I don't know if I will because I gotta go. You know, I'm not callous, but and this has happened over time where I think goodbyes are so hard for me that now I just don't process them anymore. So moving around made me very accustomed to that habit, or made that sort of goodbye process a habit. But in that time of moving around so much, I found myself to be a people person. I love striking conversation with people, and I don't know, just yapping, or just, yeah, I don't know, or just sharing a random opinion, or being goofy, or being myself, and then oh my god, I don't know why I haven't said this earlier, making people laugh. I love making people laugh, although I think my sense of humor now has become stupidly niche and like just fucking dumb, but still I still like to make people laugh. Yes, so you know, I think, you know, us as humans, we are creatures of community. So it is extremely important that we surround ourselves with loving, supportive, honest-hearted people who want the best for you. And you know, it's a very nuanced thing. It takes me forever to call someone my best friend. It took me like 10 years to build up the courage to call someone my best friend, which is childish, but I think that position supersedes sometimes non-platonic positions in your life, you know? And I love the trend we're in, where women outwardly say the friendships that we have with other women are far more important than the ones that are non-platonic, and sometimes even your marriage or your relationship, you know? So it's not that I've always been lucky, you know, like anybody, I've come across people who suck, but you know, all in all, I'd say that, you know, I've been surrounded by love and support and laughter. So much laughter is so important to me. And apart from what's good for you, sometimes, you know, to have that ability of outreach is good for others, because other people want to be heard. Other people want to be known. After COVID, we've become so antisocial, what with social media, like Instagram and TikTok and Twitter. I'm not calling it X, but yeah, you know, we've become an antisocial people, and that can hinder healthy amounts of connection that we need in order to function. You know, it really shouldn't be, honestly, it really shouldn't be home and work, and you add a boyfriend or a girlfriend there or whatever, you know, like you can't, that's not what life should be. You should go to a fucking dog park if you have a dog and meet a friend or something. I don't know, you know, pottery class. Take a pottery class. But the point is that like, and it's not your fault. It's not your fault, because that's just what society, what we've become as a country, you know, where we're extremely capitalistic and we're working till the weekend. And when the weekend arrives, you know, hopefully you do have a group of friends or some people to hang with. But if you don't, and even if you are introverted, I think it's still, you know, introversion doesn't mean, you know, there's this misconception when someone says they're introverted, they don't mean they want to, like, you know, be completely alone forever. You know, that's not the case. It's rather limited but quality relationships that they prefer. And so what I'm saying is, you don't know what people are going through. You don't know the lives they've lived or the trauma they might have recently experienced. So it is important to walk up and say hello and smile if you can, you know, because even smiling can be charitable in a sense. Be warm, you know. Yeah, there isn't really much more to say. I mean, other than the fact that, like, when I'm with my friends and family, I feel like I exist. I feel like, oh, like I'm part of something. And I make people laugh, and I make people feel better, and I'm there, and I'm someone to rely on. And that inspires me to do better and be better as a person. Friendships are everything. They really are. Just, yeah. You change, you grow, people accept you. Some people don't, but those who do, they see you in all your phases, and it's a beautiful thing. So hold them close, love them right. Yeah. My God, Fleabag says it best. People are all we have. People are all we have, you know? We need each other. Oh my God. What with all this fucking dissonance and charged hatred and discrimination, everything that we fucking go through nowadays, it's, you know, we need each other. I hope you have a wonderful day, a wonderful evening, a wonderful rest of your week, whatever. I will talk to you later. Bye bye.